Hello my friends, it's Lisa here from Arcane and Stellar. I want to say thank you so much for being here at this channel, and I hope that this reading provides you with insight and guidance. So, in this reading, we're going to be, as you probably have seen from the title and the thumbnail, we're going to be looking at what they wish they would have said. Maybe for some of you this might be a what they wish they would say. You could try to apply it that way too, possibly. I would just be careful to make sure that you're feeling really drawn to a pile before you pick and, take it or leave it, whether it resonates or not with you. So, I want to say a huge, huge, huge thank you for those of you that have donated to my husband's GoFundMe. So for those of you that didn't see my community post, my husband has a GoFundMe up and he's trying to raise money to go to bike across America. He wants to do a bike ride across America. It's one of his biggest dreams, and it's sort of in honor of some stuff he's been going through mentally and stuff like that. So if you guys want to donate, the link is in my community tab. I'll try to put it in the comment section. I'm going to pin it. And anything helps. I'm just floored that some of you guys already have donated. Thank you so much. And if anyone else is willing to, that would be amazing. And yeah, so we have 4 groups here. Group number 1 has the salmon calcite. Group number 2 has epidote. Epidote? Right? Ugh, I always never know how to say that one. Group number 3 has halite. And then group number 4 is a mystery stone because I lost my slip of paper and I already forgot what it is. I'm going to find it, but I couldn't find it before this reading. So if you like this one, look at it. Very beautiful. So it's a mixture. I remember that, but I can't remember what it's a mixture of. Anyways, those are the 4 groups that we have for today. You can, by the way, also apply it to more than one person. That's totally cool if you have different people you want to ask about. Totally, totally cool. So anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Concentrate, take some deep breaths. Pick your pile, and the timestamps are down below. Okay? See you in your reading. Hello, my friends. So if you chose group number 1 with this salmon calcite, this is your reading. So salmon calcite is really good for cleansing and soothing oneself. It's about healing trauma, moving past old fears, having motivation, finding self-love, that kind of stuff. And it also is about the heart and the solar plexus chakras. So in terms of the chakras, again, this might be the energy that kind of comes up in this pile, but let's see what's going on. What does your person wish they would have said? Or maybe what they wish they would say too. We have this leadership card. So leadership, it seems to me, and honestly this is just my first feeling instinctively off the bat, I do think that this person's probably been a little bit, I think there's been a lack of being forward with you. I think there's been a little bit of dodging questions, or maybe there was a dodging of really being upfront, of being authentic. I think this person perhaps wishes they would have taken leadership in a certain situation. It's funny, not only do I get it really from that, the keyword, but it's even just the imagery. If you look up in here, it almost seems like there's a figure of a person here up in the sky, and it's not solid, right? So it almost feels like this person wasn't very solid in some way for you. And that's probably something that they would have changed had they could. And I see Mars in the sky there, so it makes me think of sort of a more direct approach as an example. Maybe your person suffers from a debilitated Mars, or a Mars that isn't in the most assertive sign, as an example. And that could be something that's a clue for some of you, but don't take it if it's not. We also have discernment here. I really get the sense of a person who they try to overthink everything. They're quite logical, I think, probably, or they get quite cloudy. It's almost like, if they're not the logical type, they're also maybe, and in fact, even if they come off like the logical type, they're actually quite spiritual, but they might have kind of a messy spiritual side where they kind of maybe have some anxiety that triggers them and causes them to kind of feel cloudy in what they should say, what they should do. I also feel like this is a person who lets moments pass them by. I feel like there was probably one particular moment this person had a chance to say something, but they just kind of let it pass. They missed their chance, they missed their moment. That kind of thing here. We have the Children card. I'll pull out the rest of the cards here. For some of you, this person would have said they were really happy to see you at some point, or to meet with you, or they wanted to meet with you. That's something I'm getting right away. That was just like came to me intuitively. So I think this person, first of all, we have children here. So it says children are important to this partnership. When this card comes out, I don't always, it's kind of like the romance angels. Sometimes you have to kind of take it and use it intuitively, because clearly not everyone who watches this group has children affecting their connection. Probably, especially with the dolphins here and the happiness card, I really get the sense of perhaps like an innocent vibe. Perhaps this person in some way even feels as if they were too weak at the time that they knew you. Like maybe they were even too childish, or maybe they were too busy having a good time, and they would have wanted to tell you that you brought them a lot of happiness. Despite maybe their childish behavior, there was a lot of happiness here. And also, I do feel like for many of you, this person might want a fresh start as well. With the Children card, there's a good chance. Sort of like a renewed connection, as an example, like, can we start over, is what I'm getting, kind of. The Six of Swords, Two of Pentacles, and the Star came out. I feel like this person would tell you that they weren't ready for a moment that happened. That's the biggest message I'm getting from this group. Like, it's like for everyone. It's like there was a moment that they missed out on to say something, do something, and like that ship sailed. And it was like they couldn't really come back and say it later. I think that this person, I think, already also walked away, possibly, for some of you, where it resonates, where they've walked away for the sake of their own sanity, for some reason. Maybe they felt like they were too busy, or they didn't live up. But I think there's a lot of regret on this part, on the part of this person that you're asking about. And I think you left a lot of marks on them, in terms of... That's another thing. I think that one of the things that they'd want to tell you, especially now, I guess this is kind of turning into the present tense, but it's like, you left a mark on me, essentially, is something that they would say. And I think that for many of you, they often reflect on, like, fond memories, maybe where things were really innocent in the beginning of the time you met. Generally, if connections especially kind of go through turbulence, it's normal, I think, for people to kind of wish that they could just go back to the start, that kind of thing. So I think that's really what I'm getting here. Now, one moment, I got a song for you guys, but I didn't write it on paper today. I just took screenshots. And your song for this group was Drive by the Cars, which is interesting. That car, my mom used to play, that song by the Cars is one my mom used to play all the time. And at one point I hated that song when I was a teenager because it was like all she played. But anyways, it's actually a pretty good song. It's an 80s song, and it's called, and in the lyrics here, it says, who's gonna tell you when it's too late? Who's gonna tell you things aren't so great? You can't go on thinking nothing's wrong. Who's gonna drive you home tonight? Who's gonna pick you up? And it's kind of like, it's interesting, we can't go on thinking nothing's wrong. And maybe this person in some way knew that there was something that had to end. And in some cases, if you ended this, even, like, say some of you walked away from a person, and that's not going to be for all of you. Remember, this is a group. There are so many people that watch these readings. There are going to be different messages for different people, so you just kind of have to, like, let you have your message and then let them have their message. For some cases, like, if this is a person who kind of walked away from this connection, or you walked away, it's like they would respect you for that. Like, they would respect you for walking away from them. And I think that's one thing that they would tell you because they didn't have like maybe the guts to tell you the truth. Or, and I know that's harsh for some of you. That might be the thing, that they didn't have the guts to tell you what they really felt until you kind of just took the reins and kind of took over yourself, as an example. You know what I mean? Because it says, like, who's going to tell you when it's too late? Who's going to tell you things aren't so great? And I feel like in some ways that, I don't know, that plays into it that way for me. But you guys can go check out the song if you want to, and look at the rest of the lyrics and see how it applies to your situation. But I think this is somebody who mourns the loss of maybe the connection, or maybe as well, if it's a present tense connection and it's not lost or anything like that. Well, I would say that this person could be healing from something, and they'd want to tell you that they're still kind of healing from something, that they're still a little bit cloudy minded, that they're still a little bit confused about where they're going, but they're very happy with you, that they really like you, and they really would like to, for a lot of you, I think this person really wanted to meet you, like, or in future, as an example too. I think this person, like I said, really does look back on a lot of fond memories, though, and replays maybe the moments you met, the earlier stages when things were really great. That's essentially what I'm getting here for you guys. I think I might just actually even stop here, because I know that normally I'll go longer on these readings, but I think this is pretty much summarizing everything that I really get from this group for you guys. So I really hope that these messages helped you. Let me know if they resonated. I know they were kind of a little bit scattered. I wanted to make sure everyone kind of got a message that, you know, was coming to me. So I was just trying to make sure that they all kind of got spread out for you guys. But I really hope that this helped, and I hope to see you on the next reading. If you haven't, please subscribe, like the video, and comment below. It helps the channel out a lot. So thank you guys, take care, and I'll see you on the next reading. Hello my friends. So if you chose group number 2 here with this epidote, you know, I might be saying that wrong. There's a good chance I am, because I recently got this stone, and I remember asking the girl at the counter how to say it. She told me, and I promptly forgot, even though I was positive I would remember. So, oh well. You guys can comment me, like in the comment to me if you guys know the proper pronunciation. I don't mind being corrected. So, this stone is about removing resistance to spiritual awakening. It's enhancing perception, and it also, you know, helps your personal power. My ears are ringing like crazy all of a sudden, so I'm just going to note that. I feel like for a lot of you, this person's going through something in their life where they are accessing their personal power a whole lot more than maybe they previously were. Again, there can be a spiritual aspect to what this person is currently going through, or maybe what you're meeting triggered within them. And when I talk about spiritual awakenings, I don't mean like psychedelic occurrences or supernatural occurrences. That could be, but more what I talk about, you know, and they're like third eye busting open and suddenly they see everything. No, I mean more like somebody who's really digging into their self, and maybe reflecting on who they are, how they treat people, you know, that kind of stuff. Sometimes unhealthy egos, as an example, don't really act in the world in a way that's very positive, right? They could hurt people, and that sort of thing. So this might be that they're going through ego checks, and that's a really part of their spiritual leveling up. Spirituality is about, you know, well, I guess it depends on what you're after for it. So I mean, I guess it can have a lot of different meanings, but it can be about inner peace and sort of like an ascension and becoming a better person. That's at least my goal with spirituality. So that might be something that they're currently going through. We have abundance and pleasure, obstacles, relationships, the moon, the 8 of Cups, the Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, and Moonlight Goddess. So, you know what I found very interesting in this particular group? Now, I do feel like I'm going to have probably a few different stories, so stick with me, because there might be a few different situations going on. So just don't lose me if it doesn't resonate for you, because it might resonate for you afterwards, or like, you know, as we kind of move through this. First of all, look at the colors are kind of similar to these cards, aren't they? Kind of like a tan, earthy color. So again, this is about being a bit more grounded as an example, being more earthy as well is what I'm getting. So for some of you, there might be some strong earth in this person or a strong earth placement. We have relationships here. And it says, I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. And we also have Moonlight Goddess, repressed emotions, healing, and reflection. This could be a person who is really reflecting on the relationship at this time. With you, perhaps, the relationship that they have with you, maybe even the relationship that they've had with other people in the past. For some of you, this person could be currently going through a situation in which they are really going through a lot of fears in regards to their relationships and how they treat them and what they do about them as well. Like I said, it's going to probably resonate a little bit differently because everyone's going to be, their person's going to be at a different place in their life, but that's what I'm really getting. The moon here is interesting too because there's a reflection here, right? I feel like this person has a lot of fears. I do feel like this person didn't really open up to you about how many fears they actually have. And I mean, even if they did, it might not be that you quite understand the level or the magnitude of what they're really fearful of. I feel like the thing about that moon card in particular, the moon is about our subconscious fears. It can also be about things we're not seeing very clearly. And as you can see in that card, the reflection shows a panther, right? A much bigger, scarier thing than the little kitty cat in the image, right? So it feels almost like this person has something in their life that's quite scary or was quite scary at the time. Something that they didn't really maybe know how to handle. There also could have been a big ego in some way too. It kind of depends on how you look at this card. And one thing, it shows like a reflection that looks a lot scarier. That's not me, that's something scary. It's a monster, you know, like a kid who sees their shadow. And maybe there's some shadow work going on. But on the other side, of course, this could be somebody who sees themselves in a higher light than maybe they really were, you know? And sometimes that, if it is an ego issue, where this person was like cocky or difficult in some way, that's not going to resonate for everyone. But that might be somebody who's really reflecting that maybe they haven't really seen themselves so clearly, that maybe this was a way, a coping mechanism to kind of hide and repress their emotions, right? And I think that this person, one of the things I feel like they would say is that they don't know what to do, or they didn't know what to do. That's like what I'm thinking. Because, like I said, for some of you, this might be a past person that you haven't talked to in a long time. And for others of you, it might be a current situation that you're kind of experiencing with someone. But I do feel like there would be kind of like, I don't know what to do. Or I didn't know what to do in this situation. I do feel like this is a person who represses a lot of their emotions. They probably act like everything's fine and in their life, because we have the abundance card. And with pleasure too, they might even rely on pleasures to kind of get them through tough times, to get them through their repressed emotions. Pleasure obviously can exist in many different forms. It could be alcohol, it could be video gaming, it could be watching a lot of TV, it could be, you know what I mean? It's kind of like with Neptune. They always say, oh, Neptune people, they're drug addicts. And it's like, holy smokes, there's like a lot of other things people can like lose themselves in other than just alcohol or drugs. I know a lot of Neptunian people are television addicts, you know, or like book addicts. I was a book nerd, like growing up. I wasn't a drug addict. But I sure as hell lost myself in the world of books, like, and I could just like literally shut everyone out and just read books all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's some sort of maybe an escape type of way. They have some sort of escape route in their life, and I feel like they kind of do that by trying to kind of focus on pleasures in their life, whatever that may be. Like I said, for everyone it's going to be a little bit different, but you know your person probably better than I do, so you're going to know what that pleasure is. That they kind of seek. And again, it might be about just pretending everything's fine, just ignoring it and focusing on the happier moments as an example too, depending. I do feel like this person, one of the things that they would tell you is that their behavior in the past, especially for those where they acted toxic and kind of like non-caring, non-committal, again, maybe let their ego get the best of them, they would tell you that they've definitely done a lot of reflecting and that they feel pretty like there's still a lot of healing to be done, but they've been working on themselves. That they've had some sort of sense of what hasn't worked for them and why things went out the way that they did. There also could be, for some of you, especially if this person hasn't said otherwise, by the way, if somebody says to you, I don't want to be with you, and I, blah, 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 then you probably should believe them, for the most part. And, like, I wouldn't entertain picker cards too much on that. I'll just be honest, it's my personal advice, because, it's just not, sometimes it's not healthy for the person's heart to kind of go through back and forth information through picker cards if the person already kind of told you something, straight out. But, I would say that this person has learned a lot, maybe, and they would have told you that they needed to walk away, that they needed to grow up, as an example, or get to a better place, or to face some of their fears. And again, like, if this is a current situation, this might be a person who is reflecting a lot on their behavior, and maybe, again, in their life, they might be facing a lot of big fears, and they would want to kind of tell you about this. I think that this person, like, maybe they haven't told you how much they appreciate you. With the Empress here, of course, that's a very feminine energy that does represent, like, Venusian kind of things, like, success and fertility and beauty and all these good things. It can talk about this person hoping for some abundance with you. Like I said, unless they've told you otherwise, this could be a person who's wishing to have an abundant future with you. Maybe even, like, be a wife, make you a wife, that kind of thing. Perhaps, like, maybe that's their hope, that fate will bring this along somehow. Maybe for some of you, it's like even when we grow up or something. For those of you that are quite young, like, I hope when we're grown up, we would see each other again, that, life will wait for us, or something like that. But on the other hand, I do feel like this person, if they've specifically you've broken up, it was amiable, or not amiable necessarily, but it was kind of mutually agreed, or it was agreed upon, or they kind of were direct in telling you, yeah, it's over, then I would say that this person really wishes you the best. They have no ill will towards you. They want you to have the best that you can have. And they would say sorry for maybe the unhealed wounds that caused them to act in ways that weren't beneficial to the relationship. And this person might even say, I have a lot to learn about relationships. I don't know how to have healthy relationships. And I'm still learning that. I'm going to grab a few more cards for you guys. I don't know why, I just feel led to for this group in particular. Oops, sorry. We got one that fell down. We have Consolation, Young Woman. I'm going to get one more here. Then the Wife. Wow. Oh, goodness gracious. There's, like, a lot of messages I'm getting through here, so I'm going to kind of just, these might be kind of like a channeled message type of thing, so just take it as it resonates. If this person is going through a big change in their life, a big shift, again, this might be that they appreciated the help, or they appreciate your help. For some, maybe they felt as if life hasn't given them what they wanted thus far. There also might be, gosh, we have Young Woman and Wife. That's very interesting. I mean, of course, maybe for some of you, I keep getting this song in my head, so I'll just say it. The Revivalists, Wish I Knew You When I Was Young. I don't know why I'm getting that song so much in my head, so I'll just say it. And maybe that is an indication that they might say that they wished they met you when they were younger, as an example, or that things were different. I mean, of course, for some of you, if this is a situation where you're both grown now, they could say that you've taught them a lot. Again, for some of you, this could be that they want you to be a wife for them, or they'd want you, they would want to be your wife. Possibly. This could be somebody who sees like a future with you, but there are just a lot of obstacles. Again, like I said, unless they specifically told you, this could be a person who really does wish for a future with you. And maybe they want more than maybe the consolation. I always see that consolation. I think of consolation prize, okay? I can't help it. And consolation prizes are always kind of, not cool. It's like not enough. It's almost like a little something. And it might be that maybe in some way they can't give you everything that they want to. They can only just like kind of give you a consolation prize, or vice versa. There might be something about that where maybe you guys aren't able to give to each other enough. Like you can't find the time to talk, or you just can't seem to find the right way to kind of get together, that kind of thing. But there's hope for the future. There's definitely a hope for improvement, to have enjoyment. But I just feel like that there's a lot of healing that needs to be done. So like I said, I think for the majority of you, honestly, this person would want to get back together with you, unless otherwise. Like unless, it's kind of like an agreed upon split. Type of thing, or again they kind of were upfront and told you that they're not interested anymore and they hope you have a nice life, then I wouldn't say that. But I think for a lot of you, this is a person who really wants to move forward. They enjoy you, but they don't really know how at this time because they're facing a lot of issues that are very scary to them. So yeah, that is what I'm seeing. And again, I think that there are a lot of repressed emotions. And sometimes repressed emotions can come out in bursts, just like this. Like bursts out of them. And then, so, yeah. So that might be something for some of you too. So I really hope that this reading helped give you some insight into your person. I'm wishing you all the very, very best. Take care of yourselves, guys, and I'll see you in the next reading. Lots of love. Hello, my friends. If you chose group number 3 here with this Howlite, this is your reading. So I actually have a little note here about Howlite that I got from my local shop. And, it says here that Howlite relieves insomnia, it stills the mind, helps eliminate rage and uncontrolled anger, and aids meditation. That's very interesting. So for some of you, there can be a few implications here. That this person maybe wished that they controlled their temper in the past. They might have said something out of anger or reactionary. The other thing is that this person could be going through some sleep problems at this current time, or maybe they don't get a whole lot of sleep. Maybe they deal with insomnia. Maybe you deal with insomnia, that sort of thing. So we'll see how that kind of plays out as we're going into the reading, but let's get into this. So we have solitude. Yeah, I could see a lot of sleepless nights for this person where they kind of just sit alone, is what I'm feeling. Maybe like a lot of alone time. It's funny, my husband just came out of the room and we were jokingly singing Alone Again Naturally by Gilbert O'Sullivan. Well, actually, he thought he remembered the lyrics. He didn't remember them correctly, but I did, because I love that song. But yeah, Alone Again Naturally, and that's one of my favorite songs. But so maybe that's maybe this person has a little bit of sadness at this time. So here we go. I have a few storylines here. Now remember, group number 3 tends to be the most popular, and because of that, this is a group that tends to get the most messages coming through, and they do get scattered. I'm sorry for that, but it's just the way it goes. I don't know why, but it just seems like group 3 is always the most kind of picked, and it just makes the messages kind of come through in lots of different ways. And that's just because everyone has a different story. So please forgive me if I'm not going to be mentioning your exact thing. I'm going to kind of go through everything that I'm seeing, so stick with me, even if it's not resonating with you at first. So first of all, it feels as if this person is coming to some sort of place of acceptance. Everything happens for a reason. I do think that this person would want you to know that maybe they're accepting what the outcome will be of the situation between the two of you. There might also be, I feel like this person's very grateful for you, and I wonder in the past if they didn't quite show that, and they would have liked to. The Two of Swords is kind of a blocked off card. It's not one that's keen on showing emotions. It's more about getting logical. And I feel like in some ways, for many of you, this could have been something harsh that was said, especially because Howlite can talk about, in the inner peace, especially if you guys have had an argument, they might have said something that they regretted, okay? And I think that's what they would tell you. Is like, now that I've sat here and thought about this, now that I've been alone, now that I've kind of reflected on my thoughts, I really regret what I said, because it was kind of said before, well, it wasn't really what I meant, you know? And I think that for a good portion of you, there was a judgment call made, or some sort of judgment passed, that was very, like, something that they regret, okay? Now, it doesn't mean it was necessarily hurtful. It doesn't mean that they said something, like, offensive to you, right? It could have been something that they just didn't mean. You know what I'm saying? Like, try to, you know, like, okay, sometimes, like, what can we do when we're human beings? Sometimes when we're feeling hurt, we can try to make someone, you know, hurt back in some way. Even, you know, there's just something I feel like that they've said that they might have regretted, that maybe was said in the heat of the moment, as an example, even if it didn't feel like that to you. So it might have been like they tried to make you jealous or something, because maybe they felt jealous. You know, that kind of tit for tat type of stuff. So again, it might not have been like, you're stupid, you know, or something mean. It could have just been something that was impulsively said, maybe not well thought out. And maybe they didn't even show how grateful they were for you in a moment. It's almost like maybe what they said was something that didn't really show how grateful they were for you. It might have even been insensitive in some way. And so that's the thing. I think that what they would want to tell you, or what they wish they would have told you, was something nicer, something sweeter, something kinder, something, maybe delivering the news a better way, or again, maybe just explaining to you how much they actually really care about you, and how much they really admire you, and how much passion they have for you too. Now, the other side of the coin here, and maybe it's both for some of you, both situations, but the other thing I'm really feeling is that there might have been a judgment call made on this person's part, where they actively disengaged, and they didn't tell you how much they liked you, because they actually were more evaluating. And this could be also currently, they could be evaluating the situation before they kind of declare their passion or their feelings. You know what I'm saying? Let's find out a little bit more. What do they wish they would have said? My cards are upside down. Sorry. Oops, we got one. It's a flyer, though. This is interesting. This is, again, talking about maybe talking in a way that was a little bit less rude. We have the priest in haughtiness. Haughtiness. So this almost seems like somebody who maybe okay, I feel for a lot of you, this is a person who maybe has acted like they didn't like you. As an example, like maybe they had the chance, like they secretly had the hope that they could like confess their feelings, but like their pride and maybe a situation with the priest here gets in the way. Now, the priest, though, if you think about it, technically, like, a priest needs to kind of remain calm at all times, and there is like a sort of evaluating gaze on the face of this priest as well, kind of like that Seven of Pentacles, and it's almost like maybe someone kind of trying to stick to their guns and their pride. So it's like a mixture of things, like maybe their pride, but also maybe their viewpoints. As an example, the priest is interesting. Judgment call for some of you. This person made a judgment call on you for real. Like they might have judged you on something, or kind of acted like, I'm not like that, or I don't know, there's just something. And I think that well, I don't think so, I know they regret it. So however that's going to resonate with you, there's definitely something that in which they kind of were being a show off, partially. It could have even come off like a judgment, and for some of you, this person might not even meant it that way as well. Again, it could have been being blind to certain things as well. Maybe not seeing your true feelings or your true dedication as well. What's interesting here is we have intuitive communication, silent whispers of the heart. This is definitely, I think, somebody who really cares a lot about you, but perhaps doesn't know how to always express it. And that might be one of their biggest regrets, is that they never maybe knew in the past how to really express their gratitude. Maybe they only knew how to kind of point out criticisms, as an example, or that kind of thing is what I'm getting. But I don't feel... that I don't feel that this is I think this is a person who just has a hard time. It's like they more tell you in their head rather than, but when they try to get it out of their mouth, it's like they can't say it. It's like once they get in social situations, maybe they block out, or they just say the wrong thing, or their mood they have a mood swing or something like that. But I think that's really what I'm getting for you guys. This feels kind of short and sweet, but I really, really feel that this person would have told you how much they truly care about you, how grateful they are for you in their life, and expressing that. Like, we have 2 cards that talk about gratitude. And I'm going to get a few more cards for you. I didn't do this for the other group, so shh, don't tell them. Don't tell them. But I'm going to get a Romance Angels actually for this one. Group number 3. What does their person wish they would have said, or what they could say? Whoa, holy smokes. Oh, wow. Okay, so very soon heart-to-heart conversations. Yeah, again, opening up their heart is something that's maybe difficult for them. But we have very soon here. So perhaps, okay, here is interesting. This is also going to go, again, this person may have had an opportunity to kind of show their passion toward you, and they didn't take that chance. Because very soon says, clearly decide what you want to do so that it comes to you now. Again, we have a card that's kind of a little bit of making a decision here with the 2 of Swords. And this could have been somebody who was kind of holding out before they said anything. And it's like they missed a chance in a heart-to-heart conversation to kind of really display their feelings because they were a little bit blocked off. And for others of you, and that's what I think the problem is. For others of you, they might actually confess something soon, especially if you're in contact with this person currently. They might actually, in a heart-to-heart conversation, open up to you very soon. Anything else they wish they would have said? Anything to add to this? Persistence. And passion. That's fascinating. So I think this person, again, it's funny. It's like a person who isn't really showing their passion towards you, or didn't really explain how much they are passionate about you. They might have also let their persistence towards the connection wane, you know, like where it kind of waned and they were like, they're not really showing the effort, as an example, possibly. Because there's that King of Wands, but it's sandwiched between 2 cards that are like kind of about non-decisions. So it's like this person has passion and they care, but they just don't know how to express it. They have a hard time. This might also have something to do with a critical upbringing also. Maybe something to do with an elderly person, but not for all of you. Just take that if that resonates. But yeah, that is what I've got for you. For those of you that chose group number 3, I hope that was clear and concise. I always get nervous on pile number 3 and, well, group number 3, because like I said, the messages tend to come out like all kinds of them. And I was worried that it was going to be too scattered, but I think it worked out. Did it resonate with you? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Subscribe and like if you want to, and I'll see you on the next reading. Bye-bye. Hello, my friends. If you chose group number 4 here, the last group, this is going to be a reading. Now, you guys have this stone, and I feel like such I wanted to say a bad word. I feel kind of bad because I forgot what this is called. I have the paper somewhere, but it's a mixture of 2 stones, and I just cannot simply remember where I put that, where I put the slip of paper. So now I forgot, but it's very beautiful. I want to say it's got tourmaline in it, but darn it, I can't remember. It's just slipping my mind. So anyways, it's a mixture, though, of 2 different gemstones. So, okay, let's get started on your reading and find out what your person wishes they would have said, or what they wish they could say now. Now, I want to say that in the other groups, like I said, I'm trying to keep it open-ended. For some of you, this might be a person that you haven't talked to in a long time, and maybe they wish they would have said something in the past. And for some of you, this might be playing out in current energy. So just keep that in mind as you're watching. I tried to keep it open-ended, and honestly, they came out that way anyways, even though I phrased it. And that's probably just because Spirit thinks that we need to kind of do it that way, right? So yeah. This person hasn't told you, or didn't tell you how much potential they see in this connection. My heater is making some kind of weird-ass noise. So we have 2 different cards here. You guys got 2 of these cards. This is actually one of my first ever Oracle decks, by the way. I never use it on the channel, but it's actually one of my first ones. And it was such a bitch to shuffle, I remember, back in the day. Okay, now, first of all, this person sees a lot of potential with you. You know, this is the weirdest group, because honestly, I did not feel like this is like somebody that is from the past for the majority of you. It doesn't feel like somebody you're even out of contact with necessarily. If so, it's like they want to come back into your life, like as soon as possible, to be honest. I really feel like this is just somebody who is in your life already, and maybe even likes you or something like that, for sure. I don't know, because it's just the energy of this group. That's what came to me. Even though I phrased the question, like, this could be the one. It might be somebody that's like really sees you as the one. Especially with this Ace of Wands, it feels like something new and fresh. Again, this might be a realization that they haven't told you yet, that you could be the one, that they really like you. As an example, with the Wheel of Fortune, I mean, there can be talk of like, I really feel like this is fated. I really feel like this could move forward. I really feel like this has potential. And I really feel like that's the main thing they would tell you. I would say that this person feels peace around you. They feel potential around you, in terms of helping, because we have blossoming. Something beautiful could blossom between the two of you, as an example. And that's really what I'm getting. This person might seem like they're real busy as well, but I would say that when they can, they make moments, or they want to make moments for you. We have liberation and Nine of Hearts. So the Liberation card talks about breaking free from a negative attachment. The Nine of Hearts, fulfillment, harmony, and protection. Again, I don't get the sense that this is like one of those past situations where somebody, like in some of the other groups, it really felt like a past situation where maybe someone hurt you. So I almost feel like the majority of you are asking about somebody who hasn't really hurt you, hasn't really done anything, necessarily. It's like, I feel like a lot of you are watching this to find out what a person on your mind is currently wanting. Well, first of all, like I said, they see a lot of potential. They'd like to tell you that. Again, if it's in the past by chance and maybe things just didn't work out, they saw a lot of potential. They still see potential. And I think that this person, like I said, would come back to you. They might feel like there needs to be some sort of liberation in this situation, though, in order to kind of make it to the Nine of Hearts, you know. With the Liberation card, it says breaking free from a negative attachment. So for some of you, they might feel like you need, you or they need to break free from negative attachments. It could be the both of you, if you're not in a place, you know, to kind of, like it's making some sort of, you know what's interesting? We have the dove on there, and then we have peace over here, and doves are a symbol of peace. So it's somebody who would want to make peace with you. I want to make peace with you. I want to start over. I want to make this happen. I want things to be peaceful. I want things to be harmonious. I want to make things happen. I want things to be playful. I think this person probably has a lot of desires for you, also that they haven't really, that they've been maybe keeping quiet as well. Maybe because they feel like they have to for some reason, but I think that this person has a lot of passion towards you as well, like maybe like a physical passion, especially with the Ace of Wands. Definitely a lot of passion on their end, that they're kind of perhaps, yeah, not expressing, but they want to express it. Exactly, express your love. Go ahead and make that romantic gesture. I feel like for a lot of you, this person, what they wish they would have said, or what they wish they could say, is like something more about the way that they feel passionate about you, the way that they feel excited for you, the way that they want to make something happen with you, essentially. That maybe they would want to be more free to kind of pursue things. As an example, that they would want to maybe, and free is, it might be free from their own, like, you know, shyness as an example, or something else. It doesn't have to be free from, for some of you it might be free from certain things in their life for sure, but I feel like for a lot of you it could really just revolve around being, you know, free to kind of speak the way that they want to. Let me see here. Frivolity. This person, it's like they want to just have a good time with you. Like calm communication. Like this, oh my gosh. This person really, like conversation We have frivolity, letter, sweetheart, conversation. They want to have, and that's like what they haven't told you is that they want to have, like, honestly, it's not even what they haven't told you. It's like they want to have a sweet conversation with you. They want to flirt with you. They want to, like, call you. I feel like for some of you, they literally want to call you, like, sweetheart or, like, a term of endearment, and they're kind of too afraid. In some way, they're maybe too shy. As an example, I get a lot about expressing their feelings in love, though, in a playful manner, and that's what they wish they could do. And maybe they wish they could do that more freely in your situation. Maybe some of you work with this person, they can't just flirt with you. You know what I mean? Or maybe there's a situation that occurs between the two of you that just isn't harmonious exactly for flirting. And again, it might just be because they're shy and they need to be, like, a little bit liberated and more confident. But this person, like, they see a lot with you, a lot of possibility is what I'm seeing. And interesting, the song that came out here, though, for you guys was weird. I don't know if it's going to even resonate with any of you, but whatever. I'm just going to put it up there and let you guys decide for yourselves. You guys got The House of Broken Love by Great White. Now, let me tell you, Great White is the best 80s hair band, hands down. When I think of 80s hair bands, like, Great White is the most underrated one, in my opinion. They're one of my favorite bands because they have, like, the best songs. I like a lot of rock. I love rock, you guys. You know, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I love classic rock especially. But yeah, this is one of my favorite groups. And House of Broken Love is a really good song. But listen to the first lyrics. It says, "Come the morning, don't you wake me. I'll be dreaming that I'm free." Liberation. "Come the daybreak, don't you shake me. Send me back to misery, 'cause I'm dealing with the devil. Ain't no help from above. I'm stealing with the devil through this house of broken love." So, anyways, you guys might want to go check out more of the lyrics if you want, and listen to it if you want. Other songs I would recommend by Great White are "Rock Me" and "Save All Your Love" is a good one. Ooh, that's a good one too. If you're interested in them, but like I said, kind of an unknown, it feels like an unknown 80s rock band, but that's a really good song. And it does feel like as if there is some sort of trapped feeling, because that song is about that. In this one, they're trapped in an unhappy relationship. I think even in the music video, the girl is there's a girl and she's kind of in an unhappy relationship or whatever, but that might resonate for some of you. But otherwise, it's just talking about feeling more free or something like that, to be who they want to be, or to blossom how they want to blossom, to kind of make this potential happen. So again, it can be a liberty from their own fears and their own anxieties or their own shyness, as an example. But I think this person would literally just express their love to you. And like I said, terms of endearment, it feels like that, like maybe like something sweetie or honey, happy, you know, that kind of stuff. But that's what I've got for you guys. I really hope that this helps give you some insight into the person on your mind. And yeah, that's all I've got. So I wish you all the very, very best. Take care. Give a like and comment if you want. It always helps the channel. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you on the next reading. Bye-bye.